Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom. This is a show where we wake up to the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and watch all your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning, we watched Love, Death, and Robots.
And robots.
Yeah. Love, Death, and Robots.
I guess this is my robot voice.
You just have to enunciate in weird places.
Yeah, exactly. What does it mean to feel? This wasn't suggested by anybody except my own two eyes, because I saw that it came out and I saw that it looked cool, and I'm like, bro, we got to jump on this now. We got to be on the first train out to getting into this love and robot stuff.
Getting into Love, Death, and Robot Town.
Yeah.
Man, this was an experience.
Oh my God, yeah. Holy crap. Can I ask real quick? I mean, because obviously, like, when we get to that part where we're like, so have you seen this before? No, neither of us have, because it's new.
Yeah, of course.
But when you started watching and sat down, did you have any expectations of this? Or was this just completely like, whoa, what is going on?
All that I knew about it was that it was a mixture of like sci-fi, horror, and just, I don't know, like fantasy type stories. And then it was an anthology. It wasn't until you told me that it was at least produced by David Fincher and Tim Miller. Like, I didn't know that part. And I didn't realize either, and this is something I'll probably talk a little bit more about later, that it was kind of like a spiritual successor to heavy metal.
Oh, I didn't know that either. And now it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. And it pushes it a little bit to where it feels like it's from that time period too, where it's something that if you're a kid and you're watching this, you're watching it after dark when your parents have gone to sleep.
Yep.
You're looking back and forth every few seconds to make sure no one's coming out of their room.
Right. It's like you pressed play as a boy and you turned it off as a man.
Yeah.
That's how this experience goes.
You pressed play as a boy, you paused it to go to the bathroom as a teenager, and then you came back, kept playing it, then stopped it as a man. That was a progression.
Yes. And yeah, it definitely felt that way. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like I became more of either a man or a pervert after watching this. I'm not sure yet.
Well, they might be both. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one and the same.
Yeah.
So the show Love, Death, and Robots started, well, like we said, it aired in 2019, and I think it's going to keep going. Not sure. It's kind of an experimental stage right now, so it may or may not. TBD on that. Created by Tim Miller, produced by Blur Studio, ran for one season, 18 episodes so far on Netflix. And for a short synopsis, a collection of animated shorts that span various genres, including science fiction, fantasy, horror, and comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. The comedy one, I would have said, how so? Until like there's a certain episode we watched and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I chose that one because that was a really fun one.
We lucked out that you chose that one. Otherwise, we would have missed that whole aspect of this show.
Yeah, I would have been like, wow, is everything like this?
Yeah.
We'll get into it. We're being vague right now. So who are some that actually played in the show? Or I guess the episodes we watched. I'm not sure how you want to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I did. Because it is an anthology, and it is an anthology with, as far as I know, no continuity and no intertwining, I think. I can't say for sure because we've only seen the 3 episodes. Well, I watched a 4th because I was interested in after I saw one of the thumbnails. But so I just went with the main cast of the 3 that we watched. And in the first episode, the character of Sonnie was voiced by Helen Sadler. The second episode we watched, the narrator, and I know you know who this was. This was voiced by Maurice LaMarche.
Of course.
And definitely channeling the brain from Pinky and the Brain. Because, I mean, that was the brain's voice, essentially.
Well, it was
telling
like
the story.
For me, it was like a mixture between the brain And his impression of Vincent Price.
Yeah, I could see that. He's always the brain has always sounded reminiscently of Vincent Price to me, which is probably why I like him.
Or even Orson Welles.
Yeah, I could see that. And I do love me some Orson Welles. Also, if anyone has never done this before, you're going to thank me if you do this and you do it right. So I want you to go, first of all, take off your shoes, just get relaxed, sink down into your chair a little bit. I want you to go to Google, and then I want you to search under their videos, or you can do this on YouTube too. I mean, it'll pull from YouTube. Search Orson Welles drunk commercial, please. You will be so happy that you did. It's fantastic.
Please do that. I don't always agree with Chris, but when I do, it's because he's right.
I have watched this clip more times than I can even fathom, and it makes me laugh every single time.
I'm probably going to watch it after we do this too, yeah.
Oh yeah, I have to watch it at least once a week. It makes me so happy.
Once a week.
Every Friday.
Your weekly affirmation.
Yeah, that's how I start the week. And the final episode we watched, the character of Tom was voiced by Henry Dothwaite. I don't know if that's how you say that. Dothwaite. We'll go with that. And then the character of Greta, voiced by Madeline Knight. So mostly, for this cast, mostly independent actors that don't have huge resumes built up just yet. Obviously, not that for Maurice LaMarche, but for most of these other ones. So it's kind of cool to see we're getting some new voice actor talent in here, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, this really, as a whole, was a collection of different artists, different countries. It's not like other anthologies where they all have kind of the same look to them, same vibe to them. It's like these might as well all have been separate things altogether, because this is just like, here's my idea. Here's my team I'm going to put it together with, and here's what we've got. And so all episodes feel pretty different from one another. But the second episode we watched had a very different animation style and a very different feel to it. Like, that felt more on par with what we usually watch, whereas everything else was like, oh no, this is NSFK, NSFP, not safe for kids, not safe for parents.
Yeah, definitely. So we did warn you last episode. Here's your warning for this episode. We will be exploring and talking about some very adult themes. So you have been warned. Put in your headphones, turn off the lights, avoid your parents, hide in the closet, unless you are ready to be grounded, because it's coming.
We're going to be good boys, though, and not curse, but we do have to touch on certain content that's a little...
There's a lot of boobs. There's a lot of boobs.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a way to say it without saying that, but that's pretty much what it is.
I'm just, I did it.
So here's a few tasty marshmallows that are a big bowl of Love, Death, and Robots cereal. Each episode is animated by different crews from a range of countries, like I was talking about. The series is a reimagining of Fincher and Miller's long-in-development reboot of Heavy Metal, like I also said earlier. Netflix explained on Twitter that they are experimenting with the episode's order by presenting 4 different episode orders to different viewers. So let me ask you something.
That's interesting.
Was the first episode that we watched the first episode that came up when you pulled up the series?
Yes, it was.
Because when it auto-played for me, when I just was like, all right, going to watch the first one, I'm just going to pull it up and play it, that's not what played at first. The first thing that played was, or that started playing, was an episode called 3 Robots.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch it because I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Why is it playing this one? Well, why did it skip the first episode? And so seeing that, I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess it's an algorithm kind of based on your watching history, I guess, or something like that.
Wow. That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that they could do that with the shows themselves, but breaking it down all the way into episodes, that's crazy.
Did you also know that they customize the cover image of the movies, or of some of the movies or TV shows, to fit your style as well? Like,
oh god,
if it's, let's say it's an episode of, I don't know, like Friends or something. I know it's Friends not on there, but that's just, some people will have like Ross on the cover, some people have Phoebe, some people have Rachel, depending on their viewing preferences. So isn't that
so
weird?
weird?
Yeah.
Do they do that with like the episode thumbnails too, or is it just the...
I think it's just the cover image for the show. I'm
Okay,
not
good.
sure, though.
Then that makes me feel better about a very certain something from this show.
Oh, well, you know what? This is an experimental show, so who knows? They might do it for every episode.
Well, one of those thumbnails is definitely a naked fox woman.
Oh.
So
I don't think I saw that.
oh crap.
Mine was a little angel baby with wings.
Oh God. Well, I can tell you our furry friends will be very happy to see that.
Is that the
happened to
episode you
me.
watched? That other one?
Yep. I was like, what the heck? Okay, I got to see what this is.
I'm intrigued.
It intrigued me. It was really awesome too. It was a great episode.
Okay.
I'm ashamed to admit though that I got the naked fox lady, and I was just like, huh. All right, I'll see what this is about.
It's almost
not
like
knowing they were doing that. Somehow they knew, Joseph,
and it worked. It got you to watch
and it worked.
Right?
God, I'm such an idiot.
So clever.
I fell for it.
Now I'm going to be very self-conscious of every time I see a weird cover image.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, oh no, they figured me out.
The day you see the naked fox, you're going to be like, oh God, I've turned into Chris.
Yeah, I've crossed that threshold.
What have I become? I'm a monster.
At the beginning of each episode, the 3-sign logo of the series changes into signs that hint at the story in the episode, which I'm sure you noticed.
Yeah, I love that too. Okay, the iconography of this show is fantastic. And like, I got to give them credit. The marketability for this thing because of that is astronomical. Like, oh my God, it's brilliant. It is brilliant. It works so well. I bought a t-shirt as soon as I watched.
Really?
Yeah, I bought a t-shirt immediately after because I'm like, the icons that they used for all this stuff is so cool.
Yeah, it is. It's so unique. I was so attracted to the style of it. It's almost like, I don't know, maybe a more graphical version of Black Mirror in a way. At least the intro is.
Yes. Yeah. This is 100%. It does remind me a lot of Black Mirror. But yeah, dude, the little icons they use for, I mean, the main show, which is what I got, where you got like the heart, the X thing, and then the robot head. I bought that. But they've got a t-shirt with like all of the icons on it, which is cool. And some of the icons were clever. There was one that I was like, oh, it's an upside down heart with like something in it. And then it took me a second to figure out that was a dude's junk.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I said when I was watching. I was like, is that? And yeah.
Yep. Yes, it is.
That's funny.
So, yeah. But, it blows my mind. And being a graphic designer, so being I just absolutely geek out over this stuff. Oh, man. This is prime. This is prime design and marketing right here.
I know I was telling you today how I need to like sell some of my shirts and start getting rid of shirts, but now that you said they have a shirt for that, I have to get that shirt.
You have to.
Maybe the rule that I'll have from now on is every time I get a shirt, I have to donate a shirt. So that way it keeps it balanced out. And
let me get some liposuction first so I can just get your shirt.
Oh, so I can donate my shirt to you. I see.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. So, like we were talking about, we had never really heard of it. I didn't even know it was coming, honestly, until it was here and I started hearing buzz about it. Yeah, we have no history with it because it just came out and we're watching it fresh.
It did. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and jump into the episodes we watched for today's show. The very first episode, highest rated episode, and finally a random listener chosen episode. Order may vary depending on how these episodes fall chronologically, but of course we have to start with the very first episode, which was Sonnie's Edge, Season 1, Episode 1. And in this one, in the underground world of beastie fights, Sonnie is unbeatable as long as she keeps her edge.
Man, first of all, these episodes are short. This one's
like 16 minutes, 15,
oh,
16
yeah, no,
minutes.
this was the longest one. One of them we watched was only like 2 minutes.
It was 6 minutes, the middle one.
Oh, goodness. I have no concept of time.
No, clearly.
All right? Time is, you know what, though? And I'm going to say this, and it's true. Time's relative. So my idea of time might be different than yours. It depends on
unless
myself.
it specifically says on the episode length 6 minutes, and then
but
if my time is in agreement with Netflix's time.
I measure my minutes differently from yours.
All right, fair enough.
But they are short episodes. These aren't like full length, animated features and stuff like that. And man, this one's gritty. But the amount of realism in this thing Oh, dude, it's amazing. It looks so good. This animation is like some of that like top notch, like reminds me of whenever Blizzard Entertainment drops a new cinematic, like regardless of what the game's for, I gotta watch it because I know I'm gonna see something beautiful from my eye holes. So
Yeah.
like this reminds me of that style, and I think it's even better.
And I think that's a strength of having it animated by different teams so that it's not putting it all on one group of people. And that way they're able to kind of put their all into their individual episodes. And you can tell they did that because everything was just gorgeous. Like it looked so good. Even as gritty as it was, it just looked so great. Like down to the smallest details. I was looking at the background even in admiration as I was watching the episode because I was like, God, it all looks so good.
It's so detailed too. Just they left no stone unturned they left no stone unturned in this one. Yeah, they paid so much attention to detail. Everything was just polished and great. And this one in particular, yeah, this was really grungy and dirty and just kind of gross. This is like a really dark sci-fi kind of cyberpunk future in this particular episode, and it is like this underground fighting ring like you kind of described. But the big thing is there are these like big like monsters or something, and the fighters, well, I mean the fighters are the monsters, but their handlers basically establish like a telepathic link with these monsters that they call beasties. And our main character here, Sonnie, her monster is called Carnivore, and it's this big lizardish kind of creature with armor, and it's got this long, like razor sharp tail that can split into 4 razor sharp tails, and really big, right? Lizardy-ish thing. It's just like I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe it. It was just it kind of blew my mind a little bit. Not only the graphics, but the story too. Like was just wow. This is just they're going for it.
Yeah, like what a weird world, a weird universe to end up in. When they were saying at first, like that they were riders of these beasts, did you think that they were going to be riding on top of them?
I didn't even catch that. When they said that, so I didn't even catch that part.
Right when they said that, until the moment that they step into the ring and that's not what's happening, I thought that they were going to be like saddling up on the back of these beasts, which would have been cool also, but I was like, well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then this was even stranger because like you said, they have some kind of psychic link with them and they're kind of controlling them while they're in sort of a meditative state, or at least Sonnie was. The other guy kept like coming in and out of it, like just to curse.
The other guy
and, like,
was just
yell.
a straight up bro.
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, and like flexing and all kinds of stuff. He was a straight bro.
So this guy, Dicko, comes in. What he's trying to do is get Sonnie to throw the match. And he says he'll give her like $500,000 or something, or whatever the currency is at this point. And she just denies him because she's got so much pride in these wins. It's not about the money for her. And she tells her story about how she was essentially molested by this gang, and then they started to cut her face apart.
Yeah.
So now she's kind of every man that she faces in this ring who thinks they're better than her or whatever, in her mind, are members of this gang that abused her.
She's got scars all over her face, and I might be wrong. I think she said that some of that gang's still out there, and I think she's kind of using part of this is to get to them and stuff. But yeah, you're right. This is all she's got right now. This is the form of her rage for what happened to her. So yeah, she's not going to throw this match.
Yeah, exactly. So the guy Dicko kind of just like submits like, all right, but hope you change your mind or whatever. And they just are like flipping him off and stuff. And so what was really cool, I mean, not that the episode wasn't cool in itself, but what was really cool was this battle, man. That was such an awesome battle. Her little carnivore, her lizardish type thing versus this big rock monster was so intense. And that was the majority of the episode. I mean, they were really pushing the limit with it. And I liked the part where it was one of those where it seems like it's going to go a certain way, and it really was for a while. And then it just flips around on you. And I won't spoil exactly what that was. You kind of need to see it fresh because it's just such a surprise.
But yeah, so what's interesting is, so there is a twist in the fight, and then that's the outcome of the fight isn't the end of the episode. There's a little bit more. This woman that worked for Ditko shows up and is kind of flirting with Sonnie a little bit, and Sonnie's kind of flirting back, but in that dangerous kind of way. Like the girl kind of says, you kind of scare me a little bit, and Sonny's just kind of like eating that up, like, yeah, good. And things start getting hot and heavy, and you're getting some straight up, like, this is some CGI boob sex stuff. Like, I mean, you're getting it all right now. And I was just like looking around to see if Rochelle's walking by while I'm watching. I'm like, I should probably tell her what I'm watching before she happens to walk by and just sees it and is just like, what are you getting into?
You pervert.
Yeah, exactly. But then a twist takes place that I did not see coming. And then a second twist takes place I didn't see coming. And I don't know what your reaction was at the very, very end, but I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Twist number 1 happens. I'm like, oh no. And then twist number 2 happens. I'm like, what? And so it was confusion mixed with like happiness, I guess. And then a little bit more confusion. Then I'm like acceptance. And it's like, oh, okay. Interesting. All right. I'm intrigued.
It was kind of like for me, it was like an oh my God moment. Like, oh my God, that happened. Holy crap.
And that's the beauty of these really short anthology episodes is like they can really like hook you that quickly and then also leave you wanting more in a 15-minute segment. That's crazy.
Because now I want to know more about that world and about what happened there at the end and all that stuff.
Seriously.
Also, I want that like glow, like black light glowing face paint that they all wore because that looked awesome and I want it.
Yeah, I like how they intro that. I think it's at the beginning of the episode where this truck is driving through and the guard kind of black lights the side of it to make sure it's got the markings on it, and then he like waves it through.
Yeah, I liked when they walked into the fighting arena and they all had like markings, basically war paint on. But you don't see it until they walk through the black light, and that just looks cool.
And that was like hardcore arena battle too, because like there's guard. I mean, there's some rails, but those monsters are like moving around so much, like people are moving out of the way to not be killed.
Well, did you catch? There's at one part Carnivore killed 4 people.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, like when Carnivore's like tail thing split and became the 4 tails. There's a part where it was kind of climbing up onto the ledge to jump down on the big rock golem thing, which was named Cyber Raptor for a weird name. Turbo Raptor, that was it. But all 4 of those like little blades went through a person real quick as it was climbing up. And I was like, whoa!
I didn't know that.
He just straight up killed 4 dudes just right there. Dang.
I mean, that's got to be like underground stuff. So I'm sure they have waivers or something, or they just have the knowledge that you might not come out of this alive, and that's part of the thrill of it.
Or it's just like there's no waiver, and it's just like if you, I mean, you have the risk of dying, and if you are upset about it, like you can't voice that opinion because they'll just kill you anyway.
Yeah, because then we will actually kill you purposely.
Yeah, exactly. So,
so yeah, that was a really fun start episode. That got me immediately had my attention and made me want to watch the rest of them.
Yeah, dude.
But the second episode we watched for today's show was When the Yogurt Took Over, season 1, episode 6. And I chose that one mainly because, and this is I'm gonna talk for a second here about something outside of the episode, but I'll come back to it.
I think I know where you're gonna go with it, but I want to see.
Okay, so, you might.
Go ahead.
Okay, so what it reminded me of, at least the title of it in the description, was the movie The Stuff.
Yep, that's exactly where I knew you were gonna go with this.
And here's where else I'm going with it. Unfortunately, the writer and director of The Stuff, Larry Cohen, passed away this past week.
I saw that. Oh, man.
And so that's just a weird kind of twist to that whole thing for me, because he was one of my favorite directors with all these great horror movies that I love. In a way, this is me kind of honoring that memory of him, because when I see anything that involves marshmallows or yogurt or anything taking over, I immediately think of that movie, The Stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, well, I mean, how many times have you seen something about a yogurt or marshmallow taken over?
Well, that's fair, so, yeah.
I mean, this and the movie The Stuff is pretty much it. I mean,
that's true. So it's kind of got a monopoly on marshmallow and yogurt stuff. So
I guess you could count Ghostbusters in there, maybe.
That's true, yeah. And the description is, after scientists accidentally breed super intelligent yogurt, it soon hungers for world domination. And I thought it was going to be a much different direction than it went with this hunger for world domination.
Yeah, it was very narrator driven, just kind of guiding you through this series of events that led to yogurt taking over the world and I guess eventually abandoning it.
The yogurt, it becomes super intelligent. There were experiments being done on it to try to, breed intelligent life out of it. And this scientist takes it home to make some homemade yogurt with it.
Well, yeah, it was like a bacterium that they had created.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't what they thought they were going to do with it didn't work. So they're like, well, it is a healthy bacteria. I'll just, make some yogurt cultures and stuff with it.
And what ended up happening was it gained sentience and became really like hyper intelligent and started speaking through bubbles in the yogurt.
And also granola.
Oh, yeah. And the granola on the side. Yeah, started spelling out words
with the granola.
Yeah. So she takes it to the president, I guess, and it's making demands, and they're laughing at the yogurt because its first demand is like, we want Ohio.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, ah, ha, ha. And then it's like, all right, well, we'll just go to China then and give them our resources. And then that's when they're like,
And that's how the yogurt gained Ohio. What I like too is just, the yogurt kind of gave them this plan to solve the national debt and everything. They're like, you have to follow it to a T.
Right.
Immediately you see that they did not. And
yeah, another jump cut to the whole global economy collapsing because they didn't follow the directions.
Except for Ohio.
Right.
Which is doing great.
Everywhere else around Ohio is like post-apocalyptic sort of, and Ohio's perfectly safe. It's like a paradise.
Yeah.
So yogurt eventually takes over the world. Like, government declared martial law and yogurt got extreme executive power. There were protesters and whatever, but then it cuts to 10 years later, humanity's happier, healthier, and, wealthier. And so everything's going great under the yogurt's rule. Like, no one's questioning it. They're just accepting this yogurt rule. That's when we see yogurt start to, like, these giant, it's almost like those giant, like, Yoplait, not Yoplait, but it's those giant, like, cups of yogurt.
Yeah, it's the big yogurt cups.
Yeah, big yogurt cups.
They build spaceships that look like yogurt cups and they blast off.
And they leave humanity behind. And that's kind of where it cuts off, where it's like, I think they're leaving us. I don't know what we're going to do without the yogurt now. So it was much different than I thought it was going to be, because I thought it was going to be like yogurt's like eating people and literally trying to take over the world. But instead, yogurt takes over and makes the world a better place. And then they're kind of moving on because they've sort of evolved past the need for Earth. It's like, our job here is done, and they're just taking off.
As weird as this was, like, I was getting real Black Mirror vibes from this one in particular, just because of how it took something and like you said, it went a different direction with it. And because there's plenty of episodes of Black Mirror that are like, there are some scary episodes of Black Mirror and some creepy ones, and those are my favorite ones. But there are some that aren't scary. They aren't creepy. It's just like, it gives you this very strange feeling, this strange sense, and it messes with your reality a little bit. And that's kind of what this one was. And I was just like, oh man, that's weird to think about.
Yeah, and such a short episode too. It managed to do that, yeah.
Describe because I can't figure out a way to describe it very well. Try to describe the animation style of this one a little bit.
Yeah, I know there's something specific that I'm not thinking of, but for me, it looks like claymation, and I wish I could remember the show that it looks a lot like, but think of like Wallace and Gromit and stuff like that. And that's sort of the style that's kind of the style that it takes on. I mean, it's just CG stuff, but it looks like claymation just in the stylization of it.
But yeah, it's definitely different than the other one we watched, obviously.
Even if it had been like an actual horror episode, it would have been kind of a cutesy horror episode because of how like the animation looked. So it's interesting seeing this story told in that style.
Yeah, and this one, this is where the comedy really came in, and this is why I'm kind of glad you picked this too, because we wouldn't have seen that side of this side of the show if we hadn't gotten this episode, because the other two that we watched were just extremely serious,
very serious
sci-fi with a little bit of horror mixed in, and we saw boobs in this one too. Even with the goofy little cartoony, we still, every episode we watched had boobs. And the one that I watched aside from this had boobs too. So it's like, now I have to see them all just know, like, did they set aside like a rule? And they're like, here's the thing. You guys, you can make something sci-fi for this anthology. You can make it kind of comedy. You can make it horror. You can make it psychological as long as it's sci-fi. Oh, and you need boobs. Like, was that a mandate they all got? Because it kind of feels that way. And this one, it didn't serve a purpose. They really just threw it in there for laughs.
Was it necessary? I don't know. I feel like it's almost like you're right. Like there was a mandate for it because it feels out of place sometimes.
Yeah.
But I guess since this is a show directed towards adults, it's like it doesn't matter as much. I'm thinking of it from the perspective of, could a kid watch this? And so far, probably not.
No, definitely not.
Especially not the last episode we watched for today's show, which was Beyond the Aquila Rift, Season 1, Episode 7. This was the highest rated. And in this one, awakening after traveling light years off course, a ship's crew struggles to discover just how far they've come.
This screwed with my head, Joseph. This really screwed with my perception of what reality is.
I wanna hear your thoughts on what you think was ultimately happening towards the end. And we don't have to be direct with it. Just vaguely tell me once we get there what you think was going on. But okay, so it's this ship of, are they like transporters or something? I don't know what they were exactly.
I think they're transporting some sort of goods, and I'm not sure who for, if it's a government or a company or whatever. I have to assume that there's some sort of government aspect to it based on some of the conversation Tom and Greta have.
Yeah, like it seemed like a legit thing, not like smuggling or anything.
No, I didn't get that vibe. It definitely wasn't smuggling. But yeah, this isn't space. It's like, this is space travel has been established for a long time to the point that they are, like someone would drive a diesel truck cross country. They need to travel so many light years to deliver these goods here. Tom and his crew of 2 go into these pods that fill with like a gel kind of substance, probably like a liquidish oxygen preservative kind of thing, to keep them alive and stuff in stasis, essentially.
Yeah, it's suspended animation. Yeah.
Yeah. But then Tom wakes up with this like alarm going off in the ship. Turns out they are way off course from where they're supposed to be. And their ship gets intercepted and boarded by some people, and leading them is this woman named Greta, who seems to be some sort of like I think it makes it seem like she works at a space station in this specific sector that they ended up in. And I'm assuming like a space station out there would be essentially like arriving to like, I don't know, not like a city hall, but some sort of government hub, basically. Is the vibe I got.
From the moment they land there, you can kind of tell something's not right, but you don't know what yet.
Yeah. Greta ends up being a woman that Tom had slept with. Turns out 4 years ago, they make that known. And that they just had gone their separate ways, I guess. So he's very surprised to see her. Though, but a little bit of a familiar face at least, which puts him slightly at ease. But she basically lets them know, like, they're light years off course. And one of his shipmates is just freaking out and then kind of passes out because she's got like a stasis sickness or something. They got to put her back into suspended animation and try again later. And in the meantime, of course, Tom and Greta hook up and they waste that champagne, man. They could have drank it. They wasted
for like 5 minutes. Like that is a long scene. That's half of the episode.
The half of the episode was just CGI bumping uglies,
Yeah. It got a lot more graphic than I thought it was going to. Like, not that it showed too much, but it was like switching positions and stuff. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this with CG stuff. Like,
it's a little weird, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, was this made by a team of dudes? I got to think it was, right?
You got to. I mean,
but in that way, I'll circle back to what I was talking about earlier. That's where it really felt kind of like heavy metal-esque kind of, I guess, teenage boy fantasy type stuff where it's like,
that was kind of the point of heavy metal.
Right.
For sure. So, I mean, yeah, this is obviously in that same vein.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like right for the time or not. Like, I'm not like, nothing really makes me like that uncomfortable or anything. So it's not a huge deal. But I know that some people might be kind of perturbed by it. So I just want to put it out there that there's a very long sex scene and you really can't escape it.
Yeah, I don't mind sex at all. But I think at this point I started having the thought of like, okay, hang on. Were they forced to put nudity in every single episode? Like I said, nothing wrong with nudity, but at some point it starts to get like
distracting, right?
Yeah, like when it almost is just like they're not sure what else to do with it, so they're like, okay, well, we can put the sex scene in. What do we wrap the story around? Like
yeah.
It was still a good episode, though.
It was a good episode, but it seems excessive for the point that it was getting to.
It did get excessive, yeah.
But it kind of also made the point that it got to even more weird because of how long that was.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, there's not much more to it aside from the fact that, yeah, Greta's not Greta, and Tom's crew member sees that. Susie, like, she gets up from her stasis and she's just like, that's not Greta, like, what is that or whatever. So she's seeing something completely different than Tom is, and Tom's just like, no, like, what's wrong? And she gets put back to sleep again or something. We get to see what this thing actually is, and I was not expecting that.
Nope. Oh my God. That was startling. That was very startling.
So just think about a giant space web.
Yeah, yeah. And the reveal of the reality of the situation was crazy.
It was dark.
Yeah, it took a very dark turn. Quite darker than I thought it was going to.
So what I wanted to ask you was, and I don't know if we should keep this in or not, but so Greta showed concern, like true concern, but I don't know how real that was or if that was fake too. You see the other crew members and what had happened to them. Do you think that's what slowly is happening to Tom also?
I'm not entirely for sure. And it may be a case of like, I have trouble figuring out if this thing really, as it says, cares for every person that ends up there.
Mm-hmm.
Or if it's a case of like I can't tell if it's like a pity, like I pity that you ended up here, so I'm trying to make things good for you so you can at least be happy for a period of time and not know the reality of your situation. I'm not sure if it's that or if it's a case of attaching on to something like if somebody kidnaps somebody else. Because they have a weird, like a stalker. Let's say a stalker has a weird fascination and abducts somebody. And that stalker, quote unquote, loves and cares for that person, but it's actually not in a healthy way. So I'm not sure which one it is.
Like Misery.
Yeah. If anyone has read Saga,
oh yeah,
it's similar to a very specific character in Saga,
but much more grotesque.
Yeah, a super gross version of this character in Saga, but that's essentially what we're looking at.
I can see that.
Goodness, it really threw me for a loop. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so I had a really hard time wrapping my head around what is going on with that thing, but I like the ambiguity of it. I like that I don't know.
Sure. And again, that could just be part of what keeps you wanting more, is not knowing the full story and kind of putting it together in your head. But it was definitely not what I was expecting. I'll say that.
And I want to give them credit real quick here on this too, because the animation in this one was amazingly solid.
Oh, yeah.
Like I sang praises about the first episode we watched. I think this one was even better. The realism of this one is crazy. If I took my glasses off and stood back a little bit, I would not be able to tell that this was not live action and that it wasn't real. There's a specific scene where Greta's crying. And even with my glasses on, knowing it's CGI, my brain is like wanting to tell me this is real.
Yeah, it starts to get that way.
It was that realistic. And I mean, they even went as far to like, and this is going to almost sound a little pervy, but just bear with me here because the attention to detail in this is insane, to the point where there's a part where Greta is topless. She's laying on this bed, kind of on her side, talking to Tom. And you can see like just a tiny bit of like stretch mark, like on one of her breasts and stuff. And I'm like, holy crap, like how realistic could you get that they thought to do something like that? And I appreciate that from a standpoint of they did it not going, okay, let's make these big inflated, parts on this woman and stuff like that. They don't do goofy. They actually made it look fairly real to the point where they put imperfections in, on purpose to capture that. And I thought that was extremely clever and just brilliant.
And even Tom was giving me like a Hugh Jackman vibe almost.
Yes. Okay. So I was trying to place that when I was watching it, and Ro called it out. She's like, he looks like he could be like Hugh Jackman's brother or something.
Yeah.
He looks like Hugh Jackman. I'm like, dude, you are right. You were right. It's like if Hugh Jackman had a baby with Gerard Butler, like that would be Tom. So yeah, that was cool. Man, it was so good.
So I get why this thing was attracted to him. If she really was. Mystery.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to outer space where they can participate in a giant monster space battle or be slowly devoured, then see what they've thought of Love, Death, and Robots.
I think maybe I watched the wrong cartoon. This was all blood and boobies and pretty much all the best things I could ever hope for. But I just hope I don't get in trouble like the time my mom found me watching the Fuzzy Channel on TV at night. But I gave this cartoon 5 bowls of Secretive Space Girlfriend cereal out of 5.
First off, this was definitely one of those not safe for kids shows, and I am ashamed of you for letting us watch it. But it was still pretty cool, so thank you. I'm a big fan of anthology-type movies and series, so I really appreciated the artistry behind the individual segments, as well as the stories that they were able to lay out in these short episodes. Even if sometimes the plot did seem to go a bit astray for the sake of animating naked people doing naked things. Overall, I'd give Love, Death, and Robots 5 big bowls of big psychic monster battle cereal out of 5, and now plan on moving to Ohio in preparation for the arrival of our yogurt overlords.
Okay, do you think that if I ate some of the sentient yogurt, would I gain the wisdom and knowledge that they have? Or do you think it would just take over my body?
I feel
and it would basically become a human.
I feel like, yeah, it would just hollow you out. Your organs would dissolve in a very blob-like fashion, and then you would just be a husk that it walked around in.
Which is pretty much the plot of the stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess the stuff actually answered that before I even asked the question.
Makes sense to me. Stuff did it first.
So do you have any final thoughts on Love, Death, and Robots?
Even though one of the episodes had that really long scene that almost seemed unnecessary, I still am intrigued by all of it. I'm not going to fault it for that because I don't know that that's every episode. I know it's not the yogurt one for sure. So I'm curious to see what direction all these different artists and writers and directors took for these episodes. I love that it's a big mixture of things where you're going to get a kind of a different flavor of stuff every episode. And I really want to see where it goes. I hope they do more of them.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited to watch more of this. I thought it was awesome. I thought it looked amazing. The episodes are really short. The stories are all super interesting and creative. It's definitely something like I've never seen before, honestly. And I hope this starts a trend and we get more creative storytelling like this. Otherwise, I just hope that they keep making more seasons of this show because I thought it was great. Like you said, that one episode, the sex really got a little gratuitous. And so I hope that there isn't more focus on that in the other episodes that we haven't watched yet, just because it does almost kind of feel like they're trying to force that down your throats.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, and like we said, I mean, we're not prude people, but when we're going there for the story, for the animation and stuff like that, and it almost seems like a little bit of a vehicle to just put out as gratuitous sex as they can in some instances. So I hope that that's not the case. I hope that doesn't carry forward. Regardless, you guys got me hooked. I'm going to keep watching it. And I'm really excited to keep going.
So thanks, Chris, for making us watch this. I'm glad we did.
You're welcome. Thanks, Netflix, for putting it out there for free.
Yeah, thanks, Netflix.
I mean, if you do want to sponsor, it's fine. But
we're not going to complain.
I'm not going to complain about it.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And next week, we'll be watching
King of the Hills, suggested by Christopher1295 via Reddit. And okay, we're gonna have a little deviation from what we usually do because we're usually really goofy, but we do have a little serious kind of conversation to have. So we just did an episode last week that was suggested by Christopher1295. He reached out to us a few days ago and let us know that his dad passed away. That sucks. That really sucks. I wish that there was more things we could do to, like, you know, cheer people up and stuff, but because, like, you know, I can't materialize other places and give people hugs, which I wish I could. I mean, the one thing we can really do is we're gonna do this thing. He told us that his dad really liked King of the Hill. He kind of got him into it. I imagine this is something that they would watch together and stuff like that. And I think the least that we could do is go ahead and bump that up, and we're just gonna do it this next week. Christopher, we just really hope that you and your family and loved ones and everything, you heal from this. I mean, you'll get through it. I know you will. But it ain't easy. And we're really sorry that you're going through it at all. And we just hope for the best.
Yeah, so we definitely want to do as much as we're able to for you. And if you ever just want to talk to us or anything, please reach out.
Yeah, man, we'll always be there, especially on Saturdays.
Exactly. And I love King of the Hill personally, so I'm excited about this.
Well, yeah, you're a Texan. You pretty much have to,
I
or
have
else
to,
you get kicked out of the state.
That's true. It is a mandate.
Yeah. So I've watched some King of the Hill, and I found it pretty pleasant from what I remember. So yeah, I'm ready to get into it too. So thank you, Christopher1295. One, thank you for being so open, telling us about it. I know that's something extremely personal, and thank you for suggesting this cartoon too, because we are definitely looking forward to doing it.
But yeah, thank you for suggesting this. And like Chris said, I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.